Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Jenay, and I am going to share with you all about expanding foster programs with Foster Plus. Today, I'm going to be talking about who we are, the problem that we saw, the program that we put in place to solve the problem, and then the impact that the program was able to have on our organization, and then a thank you to everyone who was able to make this happen. We are a Dallas, Texas, foster-based animal rescue. We service dogs and cats, and right now we even have a pig, 2 guinea pigs, and a bunny in our program. We will take it all. We focus on proactive and reactive rescue. We try to keep animals in their homes as much as we are taking animals from our local shelter partners. At the end of 2022, we noticed a problem. We saw that there was a decrease in foster homes post-pandemic. The priority amongst our foster families changed, and fostering, there were barriers. There was an increase in barriers in our foster homes, making it less desirable to foster. Prior to 2020 and during the pandemic, we were very easily able to find foster homes for the pets in our program. In the post-pandemic world, we saw a drastic decrease in foster families. At the end of 2022, compared to 2019, we had 24% less fosters approved. We saw that the priorities amongst our foster families were changing, and we needed to make changes in our program to match the needs of our foster families and meet them where they were at. We found that our foster families were looking for more convenience and a greater reward for their time. With all that being said, we decided to evaluate our foster program with this frame of mind of making changes and making it easier to foster. And during this evaluation process, we did a foster survey. We do a yearly foster survey, and we ask our fosters what they like about our foster program, if they're understanding certain procedures of our foster program, and we ask what they need from us. What would make it easier to foster? We also ask our foster families if they're someone who does not have a foster in their home, what we can do to get a foster animal in their home. We saw that with people going back to work and how the economy is, and a lot of people renting, we saw that there were barriers to fostering. Our fosters gave us feedback that the location of our supply donation area, we only had one at the time, was not convenient for them. They mentioned that the location of our vet partners was not convenient for them, whether that was the hours or getting them there. And we noticed that fosters were spending too much of their own money on supplies and grooming needs as well. And with all that being said, we had to get solution focused and solution oriented to find a way to solve this problem. We had to reach out of our network and find new partners and people willing to work with us to help our fosters. And we found that a lot of people in our area, local businesses and other nonprofits, were willing to partner with us once they heard the problem and the need. And all of this led to the wonderful creation of Foster Plus. And I am going to go over each individual part of this program, but basically the Foster Plus program was able to increase supply availability for our fosters. It gave grooming options for our foster families, sniffed, which is rides for foster animals. We were able to give pet deposit support. We were able to give a $50 foster referral to referring foster families. And we were able to give 4-week Good Pup scholarships to each foster. We were able to create this innovative program to help reduce the barriers, to save lives, and then ultimately decrease the number of pets that are being euthanized due to the overcrowding in our shelter partners. The biggest thing that our fosters were excited about was the ease of supplies and grooming. Like I previously mentioned, our fosters told us that they were spending a lot of money on supplies and a lot of money on grooming or our foster animals were going for a significant amount of time without a groom or without nail trims just because foster families didn't know how or what to do. And we had to fix that. We wanted to make it easier for our fosters to get supplies and meet the grooming needs of the animals. To start off, we set up nonprofit accounts with both Amazon and Chewy so that we are tax exempt with both of those. And this made it so that we can just ship the supplies to the foster's door. And we were also able to open up 2 more donation sites thanks to some wonderful volunteers who opened up a corner, or should I say garage, of their home to our foster families. And this is so if we don't have the supply in stock that they need, we're able to just Amazon or Chewy deliver the supplies. We also partnered with Cuddly. If you're not familiar with Cuddly, it's a fundraising platform for medically needy animals. And we have seen that people are more willing to donate supplies sometimes than they are to donate the money because the supplies are directly going to the animals. And when we have an animal that maybe receives a lot of supplies, we're able to kind of spread the love and give that to other foster animals that have similar needs or need similar supplies. We also reached out to several groomers in the area to either do low-cost grooming or pro bono grooming. One of our partners is Bark Bus Mobile Grooming, and they are coming out to our monthly foster socials, which is a time for foster dogs to socialize, not actually meeting other dogs, but just being in close proximity to other dogs and humans while learning basic skills such as sit, down, stay. And during this time, the groomer pictured here, she will go around and do the nail trims, or if the foster animal feels more comfortable in the van, they'll just go to the van and do the nail trim. They also offer little things like ear cleaning, teeth cleaning, and just making sure that our animals, their needs are being met with those nail trims. This was a very exciting thing for our fosters. I did not know something as small as a nail trim would make our fosters so excited and make it an easier experience to foster. My personal favorite part of our Foster Plus program is Good Pup. If you're not familiar with Good Pup, it is a virtual training platform, and it is a 30-minute video training every week. And it also has a lot of behavior support in the app with you can message the trainer. These are all certified trainers. And we have been able to give every canine foster a 4-week training scholarship. And we have received great feedback from our fosters about Good Pup. We feel that we are not only investing in the animal and getting them adoption ready with a couple basic, cues such as sit, down, and stay, but also we're investing in the foster human because they are learning about behavior and they're getting more comfortable and maybe taking on a behavior case that they were not interested in taking on before. An example would be one of our newer fosters. Her name is Ashton. She just started fostering with us about a year ago. And she has now used Good Pup 3 or 4 times with different foster animals. And she's now drawn to the animals in the shelter that are overlooked. They're in the corner. They're scared. They're not receptive to human interactions. Ashton feels comfortable pulling these dogs from the shelter because she knows that she has the support from Good Pup, and she has the ease of just messaging the trainer or having a video call once a week with the trainer and showing them the dog, and that she's able to receive basically instant feedback of what she can do. And they're able to help fosters with basic leash training or even more serious issues such as resource guarding or stranger danger. Another great story from the partnership that we have with Good Pup is a new foster, Sarah. She has a foster pup named Gigi, and they are on week 5 or 6 of their training scholarship. Gigi sadly lost all of her puppies at the shelter. She was pretty emotionally handicapped and emotionally not doing well in the shelter. And since our foster parent, Sarah, was able to work with Good Pup immediately as Gigi was out of the shelter. She felt supported. And now Sarah let us know that she is planning on adopting Gigi, which she never thought she would do before because she just didn't have the support. Good girl. We also are giving Gigi and Sarah an additional scholarship post-adoption because we're just so happy for them and we want their relationship to continue to bond. And that's something that we are able to do for other adopted animals if they are doing well through the Good Pup program and they want to build that bond. Another perk of Good Pup that I'll share with you guys is if an adopter uses our Good Pup code, we get money back in donations. It's been great. We've received a couple post-adoption signups, which leads to a donation to Dallas Pets Alive. Another great perk of our Foster Plus program is Sniffed, which is, you guessed it, Lift for Dogs. And basically, how our Sniffed program works is we have a volunteer Sniffed coordinator who receives an email from the foster parent saying that they need help getting the foster to a vet appointment or therapy or to a temp foster's home, but they are unable to take the foster animal. The Sniffed coordinator is then able to reach out to our Sniffed drivers and see who is available to take the animal to or from the locations, and then she connects them with the foster parent and the animal is able to get to the vet or get to where they need to go. This was a huge feedback from our foster families that they wanted to take medically needy animals from the shelter, but due to full-time jobs, they were not able to get them to the vet. An example of how this program has helped our fosters is Summer. Summer is a kitten foster and she actually works at one of our shelter partners, and she was able to take these two medically needy kittens, and she told us, I want to take these kittens, but I have no way of getting them to the vet because of my work hours. And we were like, don't worry about that, Summer. We want to save these kittens and we have Sniffed. So not only was someone able to take the kittens to the vet, they were able to drop them back off at her work because she was able to bring the kittens with her to her job. And it just made the process so much easier for her. And then in return, kittens were able to be saved. Another great story is Harley. Harley's foster mom is a mom of 4 human kiddos, and she's a teacher. And of course, as we all know, our vet partners, many of them are only open 8 to 5. And Harley needed to get to the vet for some blood work before she had a dental procedure. Harley's foster, Jennifer, was so trusting of our program and of Dallas Pets Alive that she was able to leave a key under her mat. The Sniff driver was able to go in, get Harley, load her up, take her to the vet, and then safely return her to her foster's home, crate her, and lock the door and leave. And in return, our Sniff drivers are getting $35 per ride. And we have people literally begging to be Sniff drivers. They maybe can't foster animals in their home, but this is their way of giving back and still being able to spend time with the foster animals. And it just gives our foster humans an ease of, oh, I can still foster even though I have a full-time job, or if they don't have a car, they're able to foster and we're able to provide that for them. Another part of our Foster Plus program is foster referrals. We are giving people who refer fosters to us $50. There are some stipulations, such as the new foster parent has to actually tag and save an animal from the shelter. Then the referring person gets $50. We have seen a success with this of people who never considered fostering before. I know we're all trying to get the word out there on social media or at events or other marketing strategies. And this is just a way to say, hey, friend or family, please foster, and I get $50. And it's been great. Fosters who say that their family has never owned an animal before are excited to take a foster because they hear about the other perks that come with fostering. Another incentive that we have had in our Foster Plus program is the 5 for 500. And what this is it is if our foster human can foster 5 dogs in a year span, they will get $500. we saw that our shelter partners were having a capacity problem with large dogs. And we wanted to reward the fosters who are helping directly with this problem. And so we have not actually given our first 5 for 500 yet, but we have two fosters right now who are both at number 4 who are competing to see who will get number 5. And it gives our fosters something exciting to look forward to and a goal to meet. We are also offering pet deposit support. We had feedback that a lot of people are not wanting to foster because they rent and it's expensive. And so we have let people know that, hey, if you want to foster and a barrier is your pet deposit, we'll pay it for you if you can commit to fostering with us for a year. Now, they have to commit to fostering with us for a year and they have to tag an animal and save an animal from the shelter. We have not actually had to pay any pet deposits yet, but people know that it's there and it's available. We did have one person ask us to help with their pet deposit, and we let them know first, ask your landlord if they will waive the fee for fosters. And guess what? They did. So that is something that we always tell people first. Be sure to check with your landlord. Sometimes they are very forgiving and love the cause of fostering since it's a temporary animal. Another part of our program that we're offering is if a foster parent is concerned about canine influenza, we will pay for and or reimburse the foster parent to get their own dogs vaccinated against CIV. At the start of this program in July, the CIV was a huge problem at our shelter partners, and we wanted to get animals out even if they had CIV. We noticed that our foster families did not want to pull from our shelter partners that were having this outbreak, and they weren't enticed to help the animals that actually were CIV positive. With this program, we're able to make fosters feel a little bit more comfortable. And we've also kind of set the precedent for other vaccines. If a foster parent feels like their personal pet needs a Bordetella booster, we'll offer that to them. We will either let them go to our vet partners or we will just pay for it and reimburse them if that will help them tag an animal and save an animal from the shelter. The impact, we only started this program in July, so it's only been about 3 or 4 months, but we've already seen an increase in intakes and an increase in willing fosters. Like I said, we're 100% foster based, but we now have more people wanting to foster, which means we can take in more animals. In September 2022, that month, we took in 53 animals. And in September 2023, this year, we intaked 87 animals. And we were able to do this because more people are interested or willing or able to actually foster with us, thanks to a lot of these perks. The biggest impact, I think, with our foster families has been the incentives to foster, the grooming, the nail trims, the transport. These incentives are huge, and people feel like they can actually foster and without having to stress or without having to worry. And finally, the biggest thing has been that fostering can be easy. You can rent and you can foster. You don't have to have a car and you can foster. You don't have to have a lot of money because we have the supplies and we have the grooming resources for you. We want to make it easier and barrier-free for these fosters to foster. And I know that when people hear about our Foster Plus program and hear all the things that we're offering, they see dollar signs. And yes, the Foster Plus program is expensive, and we were able to make this happen due to grants and grant funding. And my suggestion to anyone who wants to start some sort of Foster Plus program would be to start small and pick 1 or 2 things to start with, get feedback from your fosters on if this is helpful, and then go from there and budget to make this happen. We right now are running this program from July 2023 to July 2024. And since we have already seen so much success, we are now budgeting for 2024 and 2025 to continue this program and make it so that our fosters want to keep fostering, want to keep saving more animals, and getting new fosters into our program. This program was made possible due to the generosity of numerous foundations, and it was funded by grants. Like I said, it sounds expensive and it's a big program with a big undertaking, but it doesn't have to be. All of these things, you can start small, make partnerships, ask your community for help, because once people hear that you want to make fostering easier, people are all about it and they want to also help get animals out of the shelters. And just test it out. Start small, pick a small part of it and go for it. Let's connect. If you have any questions about Foster Plus or any of the SOPs that we put into place to make this happen, please reach out. If you have questions about breaking down barriers to fostering, please reach out as well. I'm super passionate about that. And I want to say thank you for everyone for joining us. Thank you to Camp Maddie, and thank you all for joining and listening.